Laptop. Okay, cool. But the TikTok live is still going. Okay, how many people watching?
157.
150. Okay, sweet. We recently got a rock star guy, very cool guy. Lots of experience with the VW group. He's an absolute legend. He's worked for multiple big franchises. I actually met him through my barber, the gent that cuts my hair every weekend. And he said, my brother's looking to relocate. Had an interview on Zoom. Really liked the guy. HR first. I didn't put in a good word. I said, here's a CV. Looks cool. Interview him. They had 2 interviews, her and then the manager. And then I got to interview him after that. But very experienced guy. The moment that you hand an experienced guy in our industry, especially in our industry, a script to say this is the journey that you need to walk your customer through. The customer must fall in love with you first, and that's very important because this is a B2C business, so it's a business to customer industry, and you are dealing with a person. Yes, we have built out a very good reputation. Yeah, our email list is 139,372 people, so almost 140,000. But getting back to the point that I want to make, when you cold call a customer, he needs to fall in love with you first. Then, and this is the only order that actually works. And I've tried it. It's 3 key points you need to get across, and you can mix them up as you want. I've done this for years, and I've changed our scripts probably a couple of 100 times. There was a section in our growth where last year, from January until June, the only thing we did in training is we come up with a script together as a team. We'll refine it. We have got majority agreement in the room. So probably about 30 people in the room every morning from 7 until 8 for 6 months. Okay. Then once we have the script slick, this is it, boy. This is the script. We'll go and train on it in a live setting, one-on-one. So 40 people on chairs, and then one-on-one. You are the customer. I'm selling, I'm buying from you, and then vice versa. I'm selling you, and you should object so that we can figure out what the objections are nice and early, and how do you handle the objection before it explodes in your face, before you say something wrong, or before you screw up the deal. So the order that we found works for us best is the customer needs to fall in love with you first. So it's always the human element before anything else. So it's you, then it's the product. So needs to fall in love with you. He inquired about a Golf GTI 7.5 red in color. Then it's the company. Okay. So the reason why we do it in that order is he likes what he hears. You're an enthusiastic guy. You match him slightly above his energy. So, for example, in great detail, when is that sales meeting that we had this morning? When is that piece of content going out?
Next week.
Shit. When next week?
Wednesday.
Oh, no, man. Yeah. That's a pity. We can't squeeze it out on the weekend.
So there's a lot of cool content coming up.
I know.
And also the call with the lion, and we have a cartoon.
So this morning's training was about me losing a deal yesterday for Joseph, where the most difficult customer for me, can we maybe switch on that light, because then the shorts look better if that light's on. Sorry, Elsa. She was taking a sip of a double brandy and Coke there. So I just want to see what it looks like on the screen. Much better. Thank you, Elsa. So when you meet a customer slightly above where he or she is, I'm talking slightly above, that's the perfect range. So if you can imagine, yesterday it's probably like 5:15. We're about to go live on an auction. I'm like 8 cappuccinos down. My energy level is through the roof. We're having a kick-ass day. And I speak to a very sweet old lady that's a teacher in Soshanguve, very close to where our dealership is. and she's probably had a shitty day dealing with brats all day long, and these young kids have probably screamed her eardrums full. And here comes Uncle Bobby. Her energy is here, and I'm here, boy. Ma'am, how are you? I'm fine. Ma'am, I want to take you from fine to excellent deluxe. Oh, okay. And I just missed that. So even when you call a customer, even if it's not cold, and she knows who I am, she knows that Joseph is next to me, she knows what car she's interested in, we got to prove validated, and I screwed the deal up. She says, okay, no, it sounds like a lot to process, and I'm going to need to take some time to think about it, and I'll come back to you because I was here. So cold calling a customer is even harder because the moment that you open your mouth, you need to start in the middle. Let's say your range is very low to extremely high, where I was yesterday. I was fucking off the charts yesterday. Start in the middle, and then the moment you get the response from the customer, you need to match them slightly higher. So you don't want to sound like the Vodacom salesperson that wants to sell you a contract, or some dead counseling that somebody wants to pressure you in. You want to sound like him or her, but slightly above. So they fall in love with you, then they fall in love with the product. So this is the vehicle that you inquired on. This is the specs. This is the warranty. This is the service plan. And then, by the way, you're buying from us. This is who we are. This is what we pride ourselves in. These are some of our achievements. This is our process. This is how long everything will take. This is who is going to phone you. That reassures 100% that they are making the right decision. So I love that question. If you're a salesperson, if you're a marketer, if you're someone that speaks to people and your income is directly connected to your ability to communicate on this device here, if that's how you make money and make a living, then cold calling is something that unfortunately you can't read in a book. You have to get trained on, just like what we did here, and you have to practice. That's how you develop a thick skin. And one of the things that I always come back to is Eddie. I've got his permission to use his name and his journey with us, with our company. It's been whatever 7 years already that he's been with me, next to me, waging war. Um, the difference between him cold calling someone or calling a closing call and someone like the gentleman that just started, lots of experience, great CV, phenomenal manners. Like he is the softest guy ever. Thank you. Absolutely appreciate you. He's got such good manners. That's on his parents. That's how he grew up. But Eddie has made 200 calls every day over the last 7 years. 200 connected calls. So let's work that out in a calculator. So let's say there's 25 working days. Let's say there's 20 days in the week. 20 days a week times um, times 12 months times 200 calls times 7 years. He's made 336,000 calls. 336,000 calls over 7 years. Now, those calls will teach you to have a skin that's thicker than this table, like this thick. So those calls will give you the instinct, and it's I don't know how else to describe it. It's an actual instinct where once the customer opens their mouth, you know you need to be slightly above, sell yourself, sell the product, and then obviously sell the company. Having said that, I thought it's an important question to address, and we're going to kick off. Do we have new questions, or can I process some more old ones? Nokabiki hours. Okay, cool. No problem. So if you have a question that is related to our industry, please feel free, shoot it in the comments. Also, in the other team members will screenshot the actual comment, post it to me on a WhatsApp group that we have, and I'll process your questions. There's another cool one. This was from Rassi. Rassi said, Uncle Bobby, I sold my bucky through a dealer and he has not settled with the bank. This is a problem. It's an issue. However, it goes slightly deeper. So, depending on the bank and depending on when that settlement was actually requested, there is a chance that the settlement quota will include your next payment. Okay, very big chance. So If it's before, I would say a safe date is before the 20th, okay, and your debit order goes on the 1st. If it's before the 20th, the chances are very big that the settlement quoted is excluding the next payment. But if it's after that, it will include the next payment. So then the negotiation needs to happen between you and the dealer. This is the settlement, but I don't want my payment to go off. This is the settlement. I don't mind the payment going off because my next payment will be the month after that. So it's not like it's going to go off twice, the old car and the new car. So when you say the dealer hasn't settled, what you need to do is phone the bank and ask them, was this transaction settled? Because I sold my vehicle to ABC Motors, whatever the dealership name is. And if it was, that was part of the quoted settlement. Unfortunately, you're going to have to stand further for that payment unless it was pre-discussed and pre-arranged with the actual dealer that you sold your bucket to. If it was not, then the almost the only thing that you can do is you need to go back to the dealership. I'm not defending the dealership. I'm just speaking out of own experience. It's happened to me twice in 20 years. So it has happened to me before as well. We have a financial director. How payments with us work is the following way. And most dealers work, a similar system. The, the buyer, the actual buyer, will do the paperwork with you and will settle the vehicle immediately before you hand over the car. So that's the one way we buy your vehicle when it's a trade. It's slightly different when it's a trade. When it's a straight buy, we have to settle, pay you the difference. You've got proof of payment on both sides, and we take the car and it's our profit. When it's a trade-in, because sometimes trade-ins can take up to 3, 4, 5 days, sometimes even longer, depending on what the situation is with the new car. So real life example, customer comes in, looks at a vehicle that just came in, hasn't run process, so we still need to send it to the depot. We need to do ABC, touch up some, bumpers, rims, because it was a woman's car. We need to fix rims, whatever the case is. And then, and only then, do we exchange cars. Now, the risk that the dealership carries is they won't settle before we exchange cars. Sometimes that settlement lapses because it's only valid for 7 days, right? If that happens, then we need to request a new settlement. And that's when the boo-boo comes in because it's after the 20th and then the customer's installment needs to go off. Now, we take responsibility because we took a minute to get your car ready, so we'll refund you. But every different dealer works a different system. So very, very good question, Rassi. I hope you're watching this, but the best thing is to, number one, phone the bank. Is it settled? Is it paid? Because they might say it's paid, but your payment went off. And if it's not settled, listen, man, it's every business has a human component. There's no machine that will automate anything. Everything in a dealership has to be triggered by a person when it comes to settlement. So somebody in accounts needs to receive that from the buying team or the finance and insurance team, whoever handled that purchase on your behalf. And that person needs to know the beneficiary, needs to create it. With our company, we have a payment team. So we have a couple of girls who only upload. So they've got certain access to our bank account where they can upload a physical transaction. So they'll go, it's Westbank, this is the reference number, this is the vehicle, this is the settlement. Then it goes over to a second checker. The second checker makes sure, because it's numbers, right? You have to type in the numbers. The second checker makes sure that the reference number is correct and we're not paying it into the wrong account, because that's also happened. A girl a couple of years ago, I think it was a year or two ago, she's no longer with us, but love this girl to bits. She's never made a mistake in her life. Never. She handled the account for years. I look at my phone and I see 3.2 million rand, 300 and something thousand going off, and I can see the reference looks like a FNB number. Sorry, it was an MFC number. My bad. I remember this deal correct. MFC number, 3.2 million rand settlement. I'm like, holy shit. Most, did you buy a Ferrari? What did you buy, brother? I would have seen a 3.2 million rand car or heard about this car. It was discussed. She put one extra 3 in front of the 3, so it was 3.32 something, whatever. So instead of 300 and something thousand, she settled 3.3 million rand on one um, number. So immediately she picked it up. She phoned me. She said, "I could be like in tears. I'm so fucking sorry." I said to her, "Girl, did you settle 3.2 million into 3.3 million instead of 300 and something thousand?" She says, "Yes," crying, hysterical. I said, "Listen, you can't cry now. Is the number correct? The MFC number, 100% correct. Are you sure? Double check. Read it to me. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, the number is correct. I'll phone you back." Found my marketer, very cool chick. She's still our marketer. I said, "Listen, Naomi, we've got a big freaking problem here." "What's the problem?" "This is the problem." She says, "Bobs, it happens. It happens all the time. Tomorrow morning, first thing, I'm going to speak to accounts. We're going to coordinate this." I said, "Homie, I need that money because we need to pay for vehicles tomorrow. We don't have unlimited funds. I need your help, please." She showed up for us, refunded us the 3 million rand. 10 o'clock, it was in our account. So having said that, don't jump to conclusions that the dealer didn't settle. Not that it's not possible. The dealer might have missed it. It's happened to us twice over the period of 20 years where we actually missed the settlement. Customer phones is like, "Hey, Bobs, what's happening? Did you run out of money?" "What do you mean, sir? My car isn't settled." I'm like, "Impossible. There's like 3, 4 people in that department. Your car is settled." He says, "Bobs, it's not. I'll phone you back." Sorry. We found him, apologize, settled the vehicle. But it's happened before. And, before you jump to conclusions, the dealer is rotten. I'd rather speak to the bank first, make sure that it's settled. And if they confirm it's not, then go back to the dealership and just, maybe it's a human error and carry on with life. Having said that, post your questions. I see they're starting to come in. Post your questions nice and early. I'm going to do this for another hour and 5 minutes, and I'm going to try and deliver as much value as I humanly possibly can off the cuff. The first one is Chantal Rita Jacobs. It's all about adapting to the client in front of you. So Chantal, absolutely, like you hit the nail on the head. And another layer that I would like to add onto that. So I can see you're a white tick. So this morning we're speaking with like how diverse is our sales team at Tier 3. I've got a Zulu guy, I've got a Tswana guy, we've got all the cultures. And we've got a young boy called Louis. Now we always speak about the mountain because he like never wants to speak about the mountain when he went for his initiation. And it's fascinating because it's a form of army. Said, "Did you come out a better man than you went in?" He said, "Absolutely." So which way? Discipline, this. So it's like he doesn't even slouch when he sits. I wish you guys can meet Louis. He's like, his hair's always perfectly cut. He's got this big ass smile. He's always shirt tucked in. He is the neatest. His shoes are never dirty. Like, I've got a thing about shoes. You'll never see me with dirty shoes. Never. I'll never walk around with dirty shoes. He's my guy. So I say to him, "Louis, your advantage over me is like 10x." And the reason for that is you understand culture and context. So Chantal, I'm going to probably give you very good value. I hope I do. But if you understand culture and context, it makes you a powerful sales rep. And the reason for that is when you're communicating with a 55-year-old Afrikaans woman, if you can't relate to her, you lose her. Then the next call or the next customer will be a 21-year-old Zulu man. The culture and the context is completely different. There are areas where you can be a little bit more loose. And I don't know how old you are. You're probably in your 20s or early 30s. When you're communicating, let's say a person that I'm matched to you is Elsie. Early 30s, young white girl. When you're communicating with her, you'll be able to fit in the culture and the context a lot better with Els than, say, for example, even a 55-year-old Afrikaans woman, probably not in your head. But then you switch that up and you go and communicate to a 60-year-old Zulu man who grew up in a different mindset. And the mindset of a Zulu man is different to a mindset of a Sotho man. And, all my African brothers and sisters are going to say yes, because they see life slightly differently. And it's a culture thing, right? It's not even a color thing. It's a culture thing. Then you communicate with a colored gentleman from Cape Town. from the Western Cape. I love my community in the Northern Cape. Man, they tell you their name, their surname, where they were born. They tell you where they work. They tell you where they live. They tell you their wife's name, and they tell you their children's name before you can say hello back. Hello, my name is, and then he tells you his life story. That customer's energy is not here. That customer's energy is low. You need to listen more than you speak. And if you can just in the back of your mind, culture, context, even customers facing me right now, watching this customer training, how many times has someone found you that you actually like, cold called you that you actually like? The chances are that person is like you. So that person is like you in terms of culture, age, probably things that you are passionate about or that you like. They speak your language. You almost sometimes speak to someone on the phone and it's like, yes, this could be my friend. I feel like I've known you for years. I feel like Elsie actually said it the other day. She had a lady come and visit there at the coffee shop. I said, who's this chick? Nice to meet you. We met a couple of weeks ago in the cell group, and I feel like I've known this chick for years because she is like you. So if you can become more like people and more relatable, using just imprint, Chantal, imprint this in the back of your mind. Culture, context. Culture, context. The closer you get to that person's culture and context at that time, the more successful you will become in sales. But I love your comment, man. Thank you. I've got Gucci. Did all 6 guys pay for their cars last night? Gucci, my man. So 5 of the 6 paid, and the only one that didn't pay, that had a problem with his app. Oh man, this auction is teaching me about myself. So I said, sir, did I communicate in English? Yes, Uncle Bob's. Did you say you're gonna pay tonight? Yes, Uncle Bob's, but my app's not working, and it seems like the reason why it's not working is because there's nothing inside the app. So we just went to the underbidder, and we're gonna do the deal with the underbidder. So instead of getting 96 on the Polo Vivo Maxi, getting 95, it's 1,000 this. So all 6 will be sold by tonight. The other 5 paid before we even went into our cars. The uncle on the 640 that went 645 cigar that went 120 from 80, drove it all the way up to 120. He was the first one to pay. He's so freaking happy, man. He's gonna drive a freaking beast for 120,000 rand, which is not a lot of money for that car. If he spends a bit on it, he'll have a kick-ass vehicle. So thanks for your question, Gucci. How do you feel about Honda as a brand? This comes from Dirk Delport. Dirk, man, I love Hondas. Um, I I sometimes wish that I could be in one of the meetings at head office, but the one that decides what is our strategy for the next 5 or 10 years. And the reason why I say this is, like, can you please have a strategy session that appeals to young people? The problem that I have with Honda is, where's the VTEX? Where's the real competitor? Yes, you have the Type R at 1,000,001. You're competing in a segment. It's like impossible to win in that segment. And I'll tell you why. You go and make a decision, you close your eyes, and you've got a Golf 8R in front of you, okay? You've got a Type R. The Type R probably visually looks, at least for me, man, I love Hondas. It looks like a Hot Wheels car that just poof, with AI blew up, and it doesn't even fucking look real. It's so cool. When you drive it, it's awesome. Is it as nice a car as the Golf 8R? And the answer is no, it's not. And the reason why it's not is, as much as it's got limited slip diff, Nürburgring records, and fast and all this other stuff, it's the elite, top of the range, 1% of the 1% that will buy. Where's the cool car for the youngsters? Where's the CC? I think it was called the CRZ. If I get it wrong, I'm sorry. That VTEC that looked like you took an axe and you just, you chopped that in the back, and you've got this freaky looking thing that drives turbocharged cars away. So I believe in my mind, the strat session was let's attack the pensioners with the CRV, phenomenal car. Who buys it? Old people. Pensioners buy the CRV. But the majority of our customers who are the young people, the up and coming people, they're kind of important. So we'll almost half pass that range, but let's attack the pensioners, which they absolutely keep. The CRVs, you guys had a CRV. You guys had a CRV, yeah.
We had a CRV, BRV.
BRV and a CRV. So Elsie and Tian had a BRV first or a CRV first?
CRV first, BRV, and to get a CRV.
So you had a CRV, then a BRV, and then a CRV, and then that was traded in for the Navara. So Honda, and who bullied you to buy Honda? Me.
No, I actually had an accent that was doing photography, so I needed space.
So you went from an accent to a CRV.
Yes.
Okay, cool. I love the Honda brand. I just wish they would innovate a little bit more and consider young people, young families, consider, something cool, man. Like even the Chinese, like where's the cool young person car that everybody wants to own and they actually can own? Like where's the Viva? So that's my comment on Honda. I freaking love Hondas. Hondas are very cool. Slani, 21 days a month. If the car market value is over 200K, but and still financed, and you want to buy it for lower than that, how do you deal with that because it's still being financed to get certified? Brother, I really literally don't understand your question. If the car market value is over 200K, but and still financed, and you want to buy it for lower than that, how do you deal with that? That because it's still being financed to get the certificate. Okay, so I understand your question. Your vehicle is financed and you owe more than 200,000 and you're getting an offer less than 200,000. How do you buy that car that you get the bank's paperwork issued to you? There's a couple of ways to do it. First way, and the easiest way, is the person that's selling the car needs to come up with the money to pay it into the account so that the vehicle is settled in full and in total. If the money is not available, let's say the person is in a bit of trouble, the banks do offer a solution. So it's recently come up where they're actually willing to sit down, negotiate, and have a chat with you. MFC is the easiest to do this with. Westbank is very, very hard at the moment. And we had a situation with the 330i SPW where the guy owed 950. He just kept on loading and loading and loading from one car to another car. I sold him a kick-ass Merc. I said, don't load anything on this Merc. Keep this car for 4 years. This is a good car. Everything is sweet. He bought a E200 Coupe, young, married, no kids, like the ultimate top G car for you. He went 5-6 months later, traded it into an IS. There was another load. So he owed 950, if I remember the figures, 957, whatever it was. And we offered that consumer 650. So there was a 300,000 Rand difference because the car was worth 650. 650, I think we did one or two things. We sold the car quickly for 699. And I said to him, I can get this done for you in a day, brother. Is it possible? Yes, it is. Okay. A family member of the wife gave them a paid up car. So he said, listen, I'm done with this HP stuff. I just want to clear this with my name. How do we go about it? He said, there's a 300 Rand difference. Can I pay that only? I said, easy. I do this every day because I've done by that time probably like 10 or 15 MFC transactions like that. So leave the car with me. I'll sort out the paperwork. It took me 2 weeks to get everything sorted out. Westbank doesn't like to do it. It is possible though, but you go and have to negotiate with the bank and say, listen, I don't want this car anymore. I don't want to drive this vehicle anymore. I can't afford it. It's literally draining my pocket. I don't want to become late with payments. I don't want to surrender the car because you blacklist me and you put me on all sorts of bureaus. I've got an offer of 650. I owe 950. Recalculate my installment so that I pay the 350 balance until it's paid. So it is possible. It depends on which bank the car is financed with, how quickly you can do it, and how effective they are. I know MFC for a fact. I'm quite slick with this process. I hope I answered your question in the way that you intended to ask me the question. If I didn't, then send me a voice note detail, then I'll send you one back. Lawrence Smith. Hi, Bobby. We bought a vehicle with finance 2 years ago. I wanted to trade it recently due to a hunt for cheap installment. But I then learned that my vehicle was in insurance owned in 2019, whereby a trade was refused. How do I solve this if possible? I never had any thought that my car was written previously. Lawrence, tough spot, brother. So, and again, I'm going to be very central, very neutral, and I'm going to take no sides, but I'm going to give you facts. So, we are one of 3 dealerships in the country currently that have access legally, okay, legally to e-Natus. Now, what that means is if I take your VIN number, like I do on the auctions, I type your VIN number into that system, it's very strictly controlled and it's only allowed on, I think, 3 IP addresses in our company, which mine is not one of them. So George has it, Moss has it, and the lady that does the registrations upstairs has it as well, because we do electronic registrations with a CR2, not a CR1. So we can dealer stock our own cars registered on your name, all this other stuff in real time on our system. The dealerships out there don't have access to the information that you got a hold of. So I'm not going to defend them. I'm not saying they didn't know it was written off before. I'm not going to say they didn't. But in the purpose of remaining neutral, maybe they didn't know. And what we've been doing over the last 6 months is really fighting hard to make this information available to all dealers. And we're almost there through a very big platform, which means going forward, this won't happen again. So if it's not through the 3 dealerships that have direct access, the way that people do it is they've got a friend at traffic department that when there's a situation that helps them out and tells them, listen, this is the story. So I don't want to get into the dark gray area. I don't want to put anyone in trouble. But they found out, they notified you, which is the right thing to do. Whether the dealer knew or not, is now up to you. Lawrence, you look scary, my man. You've got like the arms size of like bigger than my legs. So you're a scary dude. And I'm not saying you should use your arms to motivate this conversation. I can see you're a direct person. You need to go to the dealer and say, listen, I tried to trade this vehicle in. I bought it from you. Here's the information that I have. I bought it from you. You need to help me. So I would do that. If I'm you, go to them instead of making a big woo-wah on social media and first communicate the information that you found. This is what I found out. I'm not happy about it. Whether you knew or not, I'll never. But now that you have this information, it's time for me to buy another vehicle. I want you to trade this vehicle in and find me a similar vehicle to what I'm looking for. And before you give me that vehicle, I need you to reassure me with a report that it's not the situation that I have with you. I promise you now, Mr. Lawrence, Mr. Smith, if you go and approach the dealership that way, and it's a good dealer, it's a reputable dealer, they'll help you out. And they didn't know, they'll help you out. If they knew, they have to help you out because they have to stand for the product. But the chance is very, very high, sir, like extremely high, that they didn't know purely because of the fact that they don't have access to the system. They don't have access to the system. It's so much easier if this information is public. So hopefully in the very, very near future, in the next couple of months, it will be, but for now it's not. For example, I have a customer, we went on a live earlier where he brought me a tikka chicken with naan bread and chips and sauce. It was like a feast there. We all ate like everything. I bought many cars from this customer. So he knows the drill. He says, Uncle B, remember when I brought this to your attention? It's my wife's birthday next week. I'm looking for a Haval TT. That nice. It's like a blue, it's like a pastel color, and you couldn't find me one. You tried to sell me a white one. She wanted that color. I know, sir, I failed you. I'm very sorry. I bought one. Said, before you tell me where, give me the VIN. You bought it from this dealership, right? Yes. How did you know? Turn my screen. There's the Natus history check. There's all the transactions. It's a 2-owner car. You're the third owner, and hopefully we're going to do a deal by tomorrow morning. And he's got an M3 E46 as well, old car that is on for 6 years. And I said to him, give me the VIN. The car traveled, so it's had many owners. It's probably had like 8 owners, but it is a 2004 model car. It's an old car. 8 owners is normal, it's natural. But nowhere there was it owned by like one or other insurance company. So Mr. Smith, chat to them. I think that's the best way to approach it. Go drive there, produce the information that you found out. This is why I'm here. Try to trade the vehicle in there. This is the info that they gave me. I need you to have my back. Good luck, sir. Watching from China, Uncle Bobby. Have a good week. ZA Chris, CN. What's up, brother? China, China, China. So, love it, man. That's like really a destination that I would love to visit. And yeah, Disruptor coming in hot, very aggressive, entrepreneurial, coming to eat everybody's lunch. And, if you close your eyes and you think about it, a couple of decades ago, that's what Japan did to America. They went big V8s, fuel guzzlers, very small engine, efficient, reliable. One of my favorite books, I don't know if you've read it or not. I don't know if I have a copy in the studio. I don't think so. Don't think so. One of my favorite books. If you if you're a person that loves systems, processes, procedures, if you're in any way in sales or you're in an industry where you work with systems, processes, and procedures, the book is called The Toyota Way. And The Toyota Way, I'm getting goosebumps. It's such a beautifully written book on how Toyota short-term plans 50 years, 100 years. So how they evolve that company and each process and procedure and how you get trained as a newbie by the person that's been doing this for 35 years so that everything, the transition from new generation to new generation is seamless and everything just works right. The cars might not have the technology of China. In fact, they don't. They don't have the beautiful, uh, you know, big screen displays and the 8 cameras and all this other stuff. But their cars are built properly. My dad was speaking to someone today, what should I buy? LC300, the new Lexus 550. I said to him, brother, yesterday me and my dad drove to Rustenburg. We had a 1 hour meeting. So it's a 1 hour drive, a 1 hour meeting, and then an hour drive back. He drives the LC300, the new Land Cruiser. He's had it for a year and a half. Before then, he was driving G-Class, X7, X5, ML, GL, GLE, GLS. Like you can name the German brand that, that's a nice SUV. He likes driving SUVs, V8s, everything. He says, Bobs, look at this there. It's got a simple dashboard. It's got simple controls. It is a bit plasticky. It's like it's nice. So it's so well built, and simple is difficult. If you think about it, it's very easy to slap on 75 buttons and confuse the fuck out of you. But to build something simple that actually works well, it's hard, man. And the Toyota way has done it. And then on top of that, lay on top of that is the road was closed. They were putting high power lines over the highway. So the entire highway was closed. And I said to him, hey, left the uncle there a little bit on the grass, there on the off ramp. And then we moved into the bundus there in the villages just outside Rustenburg. And we drove for quite a while. It was a dirt road. And because of the rain, it was like a muddy dirt road. And he says to me, he says, Pops, look at this. Like, even doing like stupid shit, like over the speed bump, like fools it a bit, the car just corrects itself, traction takes over. The car is just so well built to the point where at one stage it's a dirt road, it's wet, he's driving like 80 kilometers an hour, you can't feel the thing vibrating. Now I know what an X5 will feel like with 21-inch wheels and a crystal, a Swarovski crystal gear lever. That thing's mirrors will feel it. It's not built for that. Toyota is just, yeah. And, the Chinese have identified that currently what people are looking for is, people are tech savvy. They want tech, they want technology, they want your phone to automatically sync with a car. And You know, their screens are beautiful, the colors are beautiful. You know, it looks like an Apple phone. With Apple CarPlay, whether I'm in a 330i BMW 2024 model or I'm in a Haval Julian Ultra Lux Pro Deluxe Twin Sigety Shelf Pro Max Plus, it looks the same. They're doing a good job when it comes to that. So I don't know what you do in China. You know, salute, be safe, and don't eat cats and dogs. Jose laughing at me. How do you keep your sales team engaged and motivated during challenging times? That's a freaking beast of a question. Speaks, speaks, speaks. Man, some of your usernames are very hard. So for the last 3 days, I think in a row, Monday, Tuesday, and today, Elsie's recorded every sales meeting. Now she's normally not part of our sales meeting. It's a very private event. I do my sales meeting slightly differently to NAS, slightly differently to Raymond, because the skill set of their salespeople is different to mine. Mine, Rockstars 15 plus. I don't need to tell you about input. I don't need to tell you about how to overcome a decline. I don't need to tell you, but I'll tell you what works really, really well. And I want you to take it with a pinch of salt, and I'm not throwing heat at anybody here. But the mood of the sales team is 100%, 100% dependent on my mood because I lead and I sit in the middle, which means, here's what it means. My first 5 minutes that I walk into my office, greet everyone, first pump, first pump, first pump, first pump, first pump. What's happening? Let me see your eyes. Did you go to the car wash yesterday? Because sometimes on a Saturday afternoon, the boys will go to the car wash and, you know, be boys. No, car wash is for weekend, Uncle B. What are you talking about? Okay, what's happening? I identify, and this is every day, I'll identify somebody's mood is not where it needs to be. Okay, I'll send you a WhatsApp, physically send you a WhatsApp. So I'll send Matlati a WhatsApp. Matlat, you look down, homie. You okay? Personal or work? I'm just feeling sick. Have you taken meds? I have. Don't worry about me. I'm gonna start my engine just now. Okay, cool. Anything I can help you with? I could be just not feeling like I'm under the weather. Everything at home is sweet. Kids are fine. You know, pipeline is full. I'm just feeling under the weather. Okay, got your back. Then I'll buy a tea. For example, if I see somebody's walking in and looking at their shoes because they've got a personal issue, then if it's that bad, send them a WhatsApp. I'm okay. I'm fine. Then I know this is a big problem. We're going to have our sales meeting, or rather, before the sales meeting, I'll pull you aside. I want to figure out, I want to get in your head. If it's work related, the decision maker that can change your mood is in front of you. Tell me what the problem is so I can resolve the problem in real time right now as we speak. If it's at home, if it's good, bad, or ugly, bro, the customers that you're about to speak to deserve you at your best. Okay, do you want to take a day off and handle the situation? No, I'll be okay. Okay, cool. I hope you process the issue logically and unemotionally. Let's go. Now, there are weeks where the sales are actually down. This is where the leadership team is fundamentally crucial. If I, for example, sometimes during the month, currently I'm 8 cars behind, and today's my catch-up day because we run it day to day according to our record month. So after today, I think we're going to end up on like 13, 14 cars. After today, I'll be 6 ahead of target, slightly behind on profitability where we need to be. So we need to drop the profits as well as the units up. But if I come to work, 8 cars down like this, 8 cars down, that will immediately just inject into the rest of the sales team. So I decided a couple of years ago, I never had a great example in the automotive industry. The reason for that is 20 years ago, 22 years ago, 23 years ago, when I started selling cars for a guy that was a full-blown alcoholic. So, which was also an advantage, by the way. I learned exactly what not to do. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke. The things that I saw him literally Well, I smoke cigars now and then. Okay, but cigarettes. And I'm not bashing you if you smoke cigarettes. No, if you want to get cancer and die, listen, man, it's on you. But if you don't set the mood and maintain the mood as a sales leader, it will inject it into the rest of the team. So in the morning, my process is this. We have our meeting. We know what the mission is. We know where the problem areas are in each and every deal and who needs to provide input on that problem to be solved. So if the problem is we need proof of additional income, the F&I can't solve that problem. It's on you, get the proof. If the problem is the application is stuck at validations for the last 2 days, this is an F&I problem. So we'll bring that person into the problem and make them the solution, and then we'll pass them the ball. What I do straight after that is I fucking close call. So which customer do you have that's the most difficult? Bring me that one first. I want to handle the most difficult customer first, and I want to do it early because when they see me like actively doing the work, then it makes it okay for them to do it as well. So I never had a great example that I could look up to in the motor industry that was doing this at a high level. So I said to myself, all the qualities that I value in a team leader, I wrote them down. Communication skills. If you go and look at our YouTube channel 4 or 5 years ago, um, uh, I was like a sheep, but that is horrific. Like I'm ashamed of the way that I sound. But I left those videos on, and that's because every time I see them, I know I've made progress. 5 years ago's communication level versus today, day and night, self-analyze. So what do I value as a leader? High energy. I was fat 3 years ago. On this frame, 100 kilos, bro, 36% body fat. 36% body fat. One of my points was that I want to have a low body fat because that equals to high energy. I can't have high energy at 36% body fat. I wrote it down. Communication skills, wrote it down. Low body fat equals high energy. I wrote it down. What else is important? The ability to take action now. So reactive versus proactive. I want to be proactive as much as possible. When things break, I can be proactively reactive. So when there's a fire burning, I run to the fire and I help you get the fire out until the fire burns no more. So how do you keep sales teams motivated during tough times is 100% dependent on the lead because I set the mood. If the mood is here, that's where everybody is. They'll just mirror me because I'm leading, right? But if the mood is high, I need you to gravitate towards me as much as you want to resist me. You will have high energy. You don't fucking have a choice. I'm like a psycho during the day. It's just there. Today, today. I'm all over the show. I had Anna Marie with the two managers at the back. They were having one of them was smoking a cigarette, the other one was joining in the conversation. We're processing something really important. I said to Anna, I'm so sorry. I'm going to pee in my pants. She says, go pee. Haven't you gone yet? I said, no. It's like 11 o'clock. I'm full 5 cappuccinos now. I run from the back of the showroom to the bathroom to take a pee and then go back because it's non-stop. And that way, over a period of time, and this is not one day or every other Wednesday or every other Thursday, I need to make sure that I show up that way in the morning so that I can, what's the right word? Infect. Maybe that's the right word. I can infect that much energy and that much drive, especially during hard times. Especially during hard times. Okay, I'm spending a lot of time on these questions. C63 for you. Yes, we do have a beautiful C63 V8 bi-turbo. It's grey in color. Still has a little bit of motor plan left. It is definitely advertised on our website. So we kill all these calls. Bloody hell, my phone's going crazy. Do you have a Toyota GT86, GR86 for financing? LT, where have you been all my life, brother? We've got a beautiful silver one with a very, very nice cashback option that's available to you. It's on our website. Karel Dievenage, why do I struggle to get car finance with a salary of plus minus 10,000 Rand, credit score of 600? Karel, So, brother, if this is your first time watching it, one of these shows, I'm going to explain it to you again. I've said this a million times. The reason why we won Finance and Insurance Dealer of the Year 3 years in a row, mega division against everybody, the Orange Monster, the Green Monster, every monster you can think of, we beat everybody 3 years in a row. That 2025, we were first and second. Okay, so first and second in South Africa. The reason for that is with a 10,000 Rand income, legally, you can buy for about maybe just over 3,000 Rand. Okay, reverse engineer that, it's 150. So you need to finance a car for around 150. Okay, PD, principal debt, which means that car's warranty and all the other value-added products needs to equate to 150. Okay, that's the affordability part. Okay, now the retail part is if that car is even 15% over retail, it will decline because your credit rating is not the best. Okay, you're a high risk, right? So equity needs to be maximum 150% over retail. And here's where the third one comes in, and this is where you've probably the risk. The third factor that determines approval versus a decline is the risk on you, high risk, the risk on the car. Is that car that you're trying to finance a high risk? So, for example, Karel Duvenage, I've never met you. I don't know who you are, but let's say if I close my eyes, you want to buy a Hilux 2015 model GD6 4x4 manual. The car already is outpriced. All right, 2016 is too old. So, Karel, if you come to me with what I have here, I've never met you, bro. I've never asked you questions. Do you have a family? How tall are you? Because, I know one or two Karels that are freaking tall. How big are you? Are you this muscle guy? Want to ask you a couple of questions. What I would do for you is first type of car that I'll offer you that is as new as possible, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25 model. Within that principal debt of 150 would probably be a Grand i10. Okay. New, meaning if Karel doesn't pay for the car because he's a higher risk customer, he's had some declines because that doesn't go away, it stays there. If he doesn't pay for this car and we have to repo this car, what do we get more money on? A newer car or an older car? So think about it that way. I hope I gave you a couple of ideas. And then just, in the back of your mind, you were declined a couple of times. Did you perhaps apply too expensive? Was the car too old? Was the vehicle too risky? For example, an Alfa Romeo SUV is a higher risk than a Toyota Fortuner because if they repo an Alfa, send it to the Westbank repo auction, there's maybe going to be one dealer that bids on that car and takes it for the starting bid. On a Fortuner, there's 100 dealers that are there and 1,000 dealers that are online that are bidding for that same vehicle. So it's a lower risk vehicle because if it's repo, the bank can get more money for it. Hope that helps you, Karel. Cool question. Bena 14. How is the market for cheapies under 50,000? Is it worth it to buy and sell, or did the market change from a few years back? Listen, man, that market's always going to be buoyant. It's always going to be busy. There's countless people that want to buy a car like that. The challenge that you have is, can you produce a product at 50,000 Rand where the customer is safe, it's roadworthy, and the customer can actually transport their kids for more than a week before the thing needs to stand next to the road and be fixed. So, we've had a few good runs with our auction, like that Phantom Bucky that we sold recently. We started it at 30,000 Rand, sold for 52,000 Rand. There was rust on the sill panels underneath and a bit on the roof. But if you take that to a professional that can actually go and fix it properly, for 52,000 Rand, I drove that car up and down Pretoria North to the depot, racing LZ with a Jeep. We were having a bunch of fun on the way there. It's solid. That Bucky was solid, but those are few and far apart. So if the car is very nice at 50,000 Rand, if you can get me 50 a day, I'll sell 60 of them. So yeah, that market is buoyant. I love the t-shirt. Isak RSA ZA. Appreciate you, brother. So we haven't really promoted our merch site. It does exist. It's merge.midmacmotors.co.za. We are still experimenting with the material. We found one that I really like. So I'm always in the sun. I'm always sweaty. This is material that you don't need to iron. So if you put it in the washing machine, you take it out, you hang it up, it's dry, and you can carry on. And it's like a breathable material. After this, if I have to go to the gym, I go gym with it. I throw it in my bag, throw it in the washing machine, and we want to test out how many times will I wash it before the print actually goes away. And I think we're almost ready to start properly promoting our merch. But we've got cool designs. One design that we're working on that's going to be lots of fun because the FJ community, FJ Cruiser community is very, very big. A couple of weeks ago, we did a video where I described an FJ Cruiser that was suited up. And I said, FJ Cruiser looks as cool as a Jeep, but it doesn't drive car. Man, every single person I've ever sold a Jeep to wanted to come and lecture me. I'm like, guys, it's a joke. It's a joke. Not it's not a joke, but it's a piece. Your Jeep is fine, bro. We're tired of it. Bring it back. I'll buy it back. But, we've got lots of designs where we're going to do Mercedes, BMW, Mercedes, Audi. Obviously, you need to, you know, donate £5 because all your money went to Gearbox. We've got lots of cool shit. We wanted to perfect the material, the cut, and then appreciate you, man. If you would support us and buy shit, we ship it nationally, no problem. Thank you for the compliment. Best car you can buy for 150K. Hmm. Best car you can buy for 150K. That's a good question. So again, man, it's for me to go and tell you that I'm a phenomenal salesperson. You need to see me in action. And I think what makes a great salesperson is the ability to ask high quality questions. So, my first question would be, what would you use the car for? What are your day-to-day sort of movements? Where do you rotate? Do you go to work on a highway and come back? How many kilometers do you drive? Is consumption important? There's like 10, 15 questions that I want to throw your way before I can answer that. But, not having the privilege of you actually answering the questions, I would go something that's easy to maintain, something that's very easy to insure, something that's not going to kill the bank. At 150, it's not a lot of money. Even though it's a lot of money, it's not a lot of money for a vehicle. I would either go Toyota product, I would go Suzuki product. We just a few minutes ago, we bought a 2021 Suzuki Swift with 134,000 Ks. This guy's a wreck. He just drives up and down. So book value is quite high, and I think we paid 135 for it for the car. So even though it's got 120 odd on the clock, those cars are virtually bulletproof. You can drive them to 300,000 Ks. So something along that line. If it's a daily commuter in town, I would say that. Thanks for the question. How do you feel about Renault as a brand? So, man, I really love Renault. I don't love all Renault, but I love Renault. I think the car that I was the most excited about ever in my life, ever, even more excited about like any M car. A while ago, they brought out the Clio RS Gordini version. So it's a Gordini, blue, white stripes. The car was so nice. Eventually, um, I drove the car for 2 years. I had like a bunch of fun in it. The moments where I could. It was just before I got married to my wife, to Vanessa. And after we got married, she was driving. What was she driving at the time? I can't remember what she was driving at the time, but after we got married, um, just before we got married, that's right, just before we got married, she took the Gordini and she drove it. Man, she drove it many, 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 many years, probably like 3, 4 years, paid the car off. And then after that, she got an Audi and then BMW and BMW again. But the Renault brand is so cool. Um, I don't know if they segment correctly. Um, I don't know if they spend enough time marketing their product. I don't think they do because they've got good cars. Now, if you go Europe, Duster, you know, Dacia, very similar. If you go Eastern Bloc, the 4x4 Duster DCI is like the Polo Vivo of South Africa. It's all-wheel drive. It's suitable for winter, for snow, etc., etc. Bulletproof cars, very nice. I just don't know if they've got the right strategy for South Africa to almost, I want to say, make it cool. But the Bagan RSs and like those top spec cars, they are beautiful. They are so good. They are excellent. If you find a clean one, you'll love every second. How do you like the Land Cruiser? The Bucky is my dream Bucky. So you need to understand the need Tron. Okay, again, culture context. The need, dive into culture context based on your question. I just want to, okay, there we go. There's the need. Culture context. So Land Cruiser Bucky, if you think about it, all the game drive vehicles, all the farm vehicles that drive those, you know, those bad roads are all Land Cruiser Buckys. Why? Because they're very strong. They're very tough. They're extremely tough. It's you know, it's built on a high note chassis. It's like it's a truck. Okay. There's always going to be an offset to a big advantage. It can't be tough, durable, bulletproof, doesn't break, can handle hundreds of thousands of kilometers of dirt road without any problems. It can't drive as soft as an X5 or an XT, or be as stable on the road, or have the luxuries and the features. So there's going to be a counter to everything that is that good. Reliability, you know, will that car ever leave you next to the road? Can it do 1,000,000 kilometers? Yes, never leave you next to the road. It will do 1,000,000 kilometers. And again, you know, Renier, I've never met you, bro. I've never spoken to you for 10 seconds. But in the culture context environment, you know, growing up, most probably, and I'm not stereotyping you at all, but most probably, if you thought about it, the cool uncle always had a Land Cruiser. You know, he's the cool uncle. And when I grow up, I want to be the cool uncle. I also want a Land Cruiser when I make it and when I can afford it and buy it. Love the vehicle. You just need to be aware that if you, for example, jump out of a Land Cruiser pickup double cab, it literally feels like farming equipment. There's like no luxuries inside it, like like nothing. It's some of them still came with windy windows, like aircon and power steering, and that's it. Comparing the price that you pay, let's say you pay 1,200,000, 1,300,000 for a double cab that's kitted out, 1,250,000, 1,300,000. Now you could go and buy an X550D, that's a year and a half old, still under motor plan. It's got Swarovski crystal gear lead. So when at night when you switch on your lights, you know the light illumination comes through a Swarovski crystal gear lead at the same price, dude. So the luxury, the prettiness, laser headlights, 200,000 Rand extra, laser headlight. Put it in auto, it's like a fucking movie. You're driving at night, it's on auto. The car comes from the front, it's on brights, it dims. This light goes this, how's it? The car goes fast, boom, spreads the light. So, but will that car make 1,000,000 kilos? Hell no. You know, at 200,000 Ks, that car's already, it's worked. You can feel it. The BMW is my beloved brand. How you test the BMW straight road, you need to be driving 60, 70 kilometers an hour. Stump the brake. Literally, go stump the brake like that. Not so that the ABS kicks in. Just stump the brake. Hard and leave it. You can feel control arms. You know, all those things on a Land Cruiser, they'll outlive you. So is it a fantastic vehicle? 20 out of 10. Reliability. Does it have the luxuries? And the answer is it can't. They can't build it to last 1,000,000 kilometers and ride like an X5 on the highway, you know, cruising at 250 kilometers an hour. It's like nothing. So if you understand that and you don't mind that, you'll never drive another car again. Pops, I'm looking for a GT2 RS. You got one? I don't have one, but I know who has one. But yeah, I think even if you offer that guy like twice what he paid, he won't sell it. I know of a nice black one with 10,000 Ks in the clock, but there's zero chance that we can buy his car. He's got a GT2 RS, he's got a GT3 RS, um, he's got the old 4 liter GT3. If you can find the GT2 RS, you buy it, it's gonna die with you. Those cars are that's the ultimate scary, like I want to kill you car. Um, Very hard to come by. I'm so sorry, brother. I don't know. I can't help you. But if you find one, please come take me for a spin. I'd love to go for a spin. Okay, next. Tepiso, how do you know you qualify for a vehicle finance before making an actual application? The reality is you don't really know because you again need to look at you need to be smart. That's why I do these to educate you on what to apply for. So 30% of your gross income may go towards a car. If you earn 20K, 6K a month. The vehicle cannot be, especially as a first time buyer. It sounds to me like you're a first time buyer because you're not really sure. So if you're a first time buyer, maybe 120% of equity, which means if retail is 200, on a vehicle, it's a very nice, popular vehicle, you can't go and finance to 60 because you're a high risk and the bank won't allow it and they'll decline you. So if retail's 200, 230 to 29.9 is sort of like the cutoff where they'll start declining it. That's the second component. The third component is it needs to be as new as possible and as low risk as possible. Now, again, while we had 15 Ascot Grey Polos last week Monday. There was a fight about the last one this morning. I unfortunately I only got two, and I'm going to get more next week. But the reason why we do so well with those is because it's a nice price bracket. It's a nice first car. It's a cool car. It's a young person's car. Culture context. If you pull up in a nice polo with 17s and you're 23 years old, 22 years old, or 25 years old, and this is your first car, and it's Ascot Grey, and it's got Apple CarPlay. I don't care what color, culture. I don't care who you are. You're the man. At that age group, at that table, you are the man, bro. So if you can put that in the back of your mind, affordability 30% of your gross and retail value should not exceed 120% of retail value and as new as possible within your affordability bracket. The only way to know is this is almost the perfect app. Apply. Yes, does it affect your ITC score? Yes, it does. The bank do a ITC check which reduces your score slightly, but the only way to really know, really know, is to apply. So I hope I didn't confuse you, but I armed you with information. Keleto Boya, you inspire me, sir. Keleto, thanks, man. I don't know if Keleto Boya is a boy or a girl, but if you're a boy, thank you, dude. If you're a girl, ma'am, thank you, appreciate you. Thank you very much for the compliment. Um, how can one turn automotive space into a working formula? Streetline media, automotive space into a working formula. This is a very high quality question. Very high. So the previous director of BMW South Africa, the plant that builds the X3 currently, he converted the 3 Series plant to X3. He actually, in terms of efficiency, our plant, South Africa's plant, our plant in Roslin, beat Germany on multiple awards. He also opened, I think, 2 in China. He opened 1 in the UK. That was a mini plant. And then I had the last tour with him before he retired. And he came on and assisted us with some of the process procedures. This is a high level guy. He didn't create our system on the depot, so I'm not going to give him credit for everything. He had a lot of good, valuable input. But the other input came internally. My dad, very involved. He had a construction company. He's there all the time, checking efficiencies, checking processes. Where should a car go first? Where should it go next? Where should it go next? Until we ended up with a formula. I'll give you our formula, no problem. When a buyer buys a vehicle and he describes it in the PDF, that vehicle needs to go for condition report first. So wash bay, the car needs to be clean, condition report. We check the buyer's evaluation versus actual with the red seal mechanic going through the car number plate to number plate. Once that is done, then only do we do paintwork. So if it's got chips on the bumper, whatever it's got, we'll do paintwork. While the car is at paintwork, we'll do rims. So let's say, for example, we've got your car in now, and the front bumper's got a whole lot of stone chips, and the back bumper, the kids scratched the bumper as they threw the bags in and out, and your wife scratched 3 rims. The vehicle's bumpers will be taken off at the panel shop. The rims will be removed, brought back to the depot because we're very close, like 50 meters apart. And then we'll diamond cut the wheels, we'll put the new tires on, we'll do the alignment, we'll do balancing, we'll do everything. Sorry, balancing, not alignment. We'll do that there, got to fit the rims. By that time, the bumpers are back. Then the car comes into what we call leather tech, where we do interior work. So scratches on the door, a seat where you climb in and out. Same people that have a shop in the BMW factory in Roslyn have got a branch at our depot. So the quality is very, very high. After that's done, and remember, condition report, mechanical sorted out, because it's sort of, and from experience, when you're dealing with a mechanic, so he'll need to move the car in and out from the lift, this, that, the thing. You don't want your leather and your interior to be completely done, and then the guy touches his oily hand on the panel and there's a fight. So the prettiest part has to happen last, always last. So once panel beating is done, interior is done, tires and rims are done, mechanical is done, then only does the car go for a wash again. It will go for dents. It happens, man. People walk between the cars, they maybe push a dent, whatever. We've got a dent technician, he presses the dent, then does the car get a glaze, a valet and a glaze, and then does the car only go to the floor. So that's the formula that works for us. If you want to, and maybe it was a lot and you missed a couple of points, once this live ends, it will go automatically on Midmac Motors' Facebook page, and it will post automatically. So we're about an hour and 20 minutes in. You can just go forward to an hour and 20 minutes and then just write step for step how we do it. Perhaps I can help you sort out the processes and procedures. Thanks for the question. Street Line Media. Arthur Matepo. Uncle Bobby, I'm a first-time car owner and I've got around 400k cash. I'm looking for a sport, petrol-efficient car. Which one can I go for? Sport, petrol-efficient car. Which one can I go for? So Arthur, based on your profile picture, you look like you're in your 30s. So brother, like literally, the first car that I'd buy, one of two. I would either buy a 320D F30 with very low mileage, good quality mileage for $399. You'll find one with like 70, 80,000 Ks. M Sport, 19-inch wheels, whatever color you find. Or I'd buy a C-Class. I would actually buy a petrol C-Class or a diesel. But if I find a C200 petrol, AMG spec, for me, the nicest look for me, I'm talking personal preference. If it's an AMG white with a black roof, with a 19-inch 5-spoke wheel, and then the black interior, fuck, that's a sexy car. It's gorgeous. It's sporty, it's fuel efficient, it's safe, it's not a hijack risk, and you can drive those cars forever. So 400k budget, C200, 320D, or even a 320i M Sport, you'll love every second. And if you keep the mileage nice and low, or normal, you take care of the car, you always get your money back on. Those 4 models, petrol, diesel version of those, in that spec, in whatever color you can find. When you're looking at a second-hand car and it's got good mileage, you can't pick the color all the time. But if you can find one that you like, not that I like, but that you like the color of, that's the car I would buy and just enjoy it for the next for the next couple of years. And Arthur, one more thing I want to tell you. Arthur Matopa, you reached out from Facebook. You're a young guy. You're in your 30s, I think. You know, mad respect, bro, that you've saved 400K. Like literally, it's so refreshing to see a young person actually save money and, end up buying the vehicle cash. Like I've got the biggest respect for you, brother. Well done. I know for a fact that was a lot of hard work, and you're going to value what you buy and you'll take care of it and look after it. Just make sure that at all times your vehicle is insured because that protects, the amount of time that you spend working your tail off to save that much money. Like, big respect to you. Well done for saving so much money. We have 6 minutes. Did you eat the entire roast chicken this afternoon? And how is your shirt not dirty? Okay, first of all, I'm not an 8-year-old. So I eat with my fingers like this away from my shirt. I wish I ate the entire chicken, but I'm not greedy. I'm a team member, so all my team ate a piece of chicken and the roti bread and the chips. And Elsie was greedy. She ate all the salad. So Elsie chowed the salad. Not that she was greedy, but no one in my team will. They said, no, we're not rabbits. So, yeah, that Mr. Dirk Delport. Thanks for watching, sir. That was such a nice surprise. Second gift I got today. The first gift was stickers. You guys know a mural where we shoot all the content with the cars, with the graffiti and all these crazy designs that Elsie did when she was drunk. So the person actually took that design and made it. I'm kidding. Elsie wasn't drunk; she was high, and made a like a miniature version of it. I think it's 800 by 2 meters that we're gonna go and paint our wall black and put it behind where I sit. That was the gift. The gentleman said, I received so much value, free value, on these masterclasses that we hold that, I've increased myself, I've improved my business. I just wanted to say thank you and give something back to you with no expectation. And the moment he said that, we immediately summoned him to do lots of stuff for us. So, very simple move. And I loved your gift. I loved your personality, and your approach was so amazing. That's why we're going to keep you busy, sir. What do you think of Hyundai Terracan 3.5 V6, 3.5 V6 Terracan? So those are very old. I know them, and like I've always had bad experiences with them. At that stage, Hyundai was like the first Chinese car into South Africa. So think about the first Cherry quality versus today. And yeah, that V6 Terracan is a tank. It will use more fuel than a G63. I promise you that. And at that stage, I don't think they were as refined. The gearboxes, the diffs, all that other stuff was not as refined. I know you can find them cheap. Um, yeah, I don't have the best things to say about that one. I'm so sorry, man. If you want to sell one, I just screwed up your sale. Sorry about that. If you want to buy one, perhaps wait out. But look at maybe an older Pajero or a Pajero Sport or something of that sort. If you're looking for a big, powerful car that can go off road and tow something. Best daily car. Yeah, that's like budget dependent, man. But um, yeah, best daily car. What's important to me is it needs to have power, it needs to sound good. And for me, I value, I overvalue the car sound system. Like for me, if it's got a good sound system, I like the car already. For me personally. So a car for me that really, really impressed me. Like really impressed me is a Golf 8R. It's so fast. It's so fast. It's sick fast with acro pipes. Um, we bought one recently. You're expecting the acro pipes to bark at you like the older models. It sounds like a F1 car at high RPM. It's got the best Harman Kardon sound system. Just the technology connects so seamlessly with your phone. I fucking hate the fact that you have to push the screen to go into your aircon. Like I want to punch the screen. When you see it, I think it's okay. But like the first couple of times when I was in the car, it's a bit frustrating. But what a car, man! Like, at that price range, even though it's expensive, it's like almost R1 million. There is very few cars that, as a daily car, can match that for year model and mileage. Obviously, M4 X Drive, M3 X Drive, the new M2, but it's a lot more expensive. But that that's such a kick-ass car, man. I love that
I
car.
have a challenge for you.
Go, go for
So
it.
the last 2 minutes, see how many questions you can answer
In 2 minutes,
in 2 minutes.
there's a deal with lower interest rate and pay without balloon payments. How to deal with lower interest rate and pay without balloon payments. Bravo. Um, how to deal with lower interest rate and pay without balloon payments. Like a very confusing question, but
Just go on to the next one.
the interest rate is dependent on your credit profile. So it's not always a bad dealer that increases the rates. There are a few that do it, but most don't do it. So it's mainly connected to your risk profile and the year model of the car. The newer the car, the lower the interest rate. Important. Michelle Buerta, Uncle Bobby, how would you incorporate AI in your industry? Great question. We are heavily investing in AI on the marketing side, and there's a very capable team that's daily actually like literally figuring out stuff as we go. And once we figured it out there, we will slowly incorporate it into the rest of the company. I know dealers have incorporated it into the buying structure, a lot into call centers. I like people to people for now, but for now, we are heavily focused on the marketing. Next question, you want to buy my car? Do you have M2 Comp F series? I don't. I want to buy your car. Send me WhatsApps with a disc and I'll buy your car. Nice setup. How long? How long will a Haval Jolian engine last? Year's estimation. How long? Sorry, I think maybe I copied your message twice or three times. So funny enough, we were about to trade in a Haval Jolian. We offered the customer 95,000 with 285,000 case full service history at the agent. So that's the highest mileage I've seen. And according to the evaluator, the car was sweet. It drove nice with 285. How long will it last? I don't know, bro. They're still too new in the market. But I've seen a couple with like 140, 150 that seem to be okay. I know in Europe they rust because of the chemicals they throw on the roads to help with the snowfall. So it's a lot of salty chemicals. So like my family in Bulgaria say the Haval brand, over time rusts. So that's the one thing that I've heard. I've never seen it. I've just heard it. But the engine so far, we've never had problems with one. I'll take one more. Hello, Uncle Bobby. May I kindly have someone's contact when I work on a trading? You have my contact, bro. Send it to me. As a CEO, how is your relationship with your F&I managers? So, good question. We have 8 and 1 leader. My relationship with all of them is very good, but it's exceptional with a leader because that department is led by that person. That person is Batman, and I'm Robin in that room. I'm not Batman in that room. I never want to be Batman in that room. And any decision that gets made by Batman, who is not me, is supported by Robin, whether it's popular or not, whether it's the right or the wrong decision. Batman has to make that decision, and then everybody in that person's team needs to conform to the decision that they've made, and I'll support that person. Like that's not only F&I, it's every department. And I'll never discuss work-related issues without Batman being in the room. So if there's a problem between two people and they want to raise it with me, immediately I'll stop them. Batman's not in the room. Batman needs to be in the room. This is not for my ears, it's for Batman's ears. The third, fourth time I do that with people, they just stop talking to me, which is amazing. And they go to Batman. All right. 52K, did you sell, Bob? Yeah. Eugene Michael, 52K for that Bantam. You did well, Bob. Thank you very much, Mr. Eugene. And we are 2 minutes over time. I appreciate you. There's like a bunch of cool questions. I'll see you guys next week, Wednesday, for customer training. Next week, Monday, for the business mentorship program that we run. Thank you. Take care. Have a blessed night. All the best. Goodbye. Goodbye.